It's Jonathan Agger, Fifth for Pro Boxing fans. Delighted to be joined by Natasha Jonas. Just a few weeks to go now before a huge fight with Katie Taylor, May 1st. Tasha, how you doing?
I'm good. I seen a post today that says 4 weeks today. Got me running around the track anyway.
Did you ever think after that loss to Vivian Obanov that 5 fights later you'd be fighting for the undisputed title against Katie Taylor?
No, I thought I might have missed the boat and lost the chance. But then obviously after the Harper performance, and I thought I believed I wanted to stay at world level, and I've made a song and dance and kicked up a fuss, and look what it's got me.
Well, what an amazing opportunity, and what an amazing fight. You two renewing your rivalry from the Olympics. Is it going to be anything like that fight?
Yeah, I just hope the result's different. That's it.
Yeah.
That's also what difference is, the result. But I think we've both got styles that gel. I think we've both experienced, got a good boxing IQ, and yeah, it makes for a great fight. That's it.
What was your initial reaction when you heard that there was a possibility that this fight would happen, or that it was going to happen?
I'll be dead honest. Someone tagged me in a post on Twitter that the Irish press had put out saying, we've heard rumours that Katie's next opponent will be Tasha, and I genuinely hadn't heard anything. And so everyone was like, "Oh, you're fighting Katie." I was like, "No, I'm not," and everyone must have thought I was lying. But I genuinely hadn't had a call. And about 2 weeks after that, I got a call and saying, "Would you take the from Tom saying, would you take the Katie fight?" I said, "Yeah, of course I would." And he was like, "Okay, let you call you back, throw me back." And he was like, "Yeah, you've got the Taylor fight." I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's sort out the particulars." And there we go, we had it, and it wasn't actually signed. Got released on a Friday. I didn't sign it until I think there was the Monday before, so it was quite quick. And you never know in boxing, like, you can get promised a lot, but until they announce it, then there's no real obligation or duty until it's signed and sealed and delivered. Like, you're still on, I wonder if it'll happen. So when it got announced, I was like, phew.
Yeah. Were you training towards a possible huge fight like this?
No, I wouldn't say I was. I was training, and I had a plan to, like, whatever shows were coming up, I was going to keep myself fit for. So I was acting like I was going to be on them shows just in case, any failed tests or anything like that, an injury, whatever. I was keeping myself fit and in the gym. But yeah, I never thought that I'd get the big match call up. However much I wanted it, I didn't know if I was going to get it.
It was an amazing reaction when the fight was announced as part of this Chisora Parker card. What did you make of the reaction you got for this fight?
It's you know what, I haven't seen much negativity at all. Some of the negativity is obviously about the fact that the whole card's a pay-per-view, and then the positive thing for us was that a lot of people were saying, well, why isn't this the main event? And that just goes to show how far women's boxing's come. At its best, people are really enjoying it, they're getting involved, they're invested in it, and that's what we need as a sport to grow.
Do you feel like that's a credit to yourself as well for the performance you put in against Terry Harper last time out?
Possibly. Possibly. I think, Katie in herself brings a whole heap of audience in the whole of Ireland. But yeah, I think, like I said, it's just, at its best, when, at a competitive fight, women's boxing is just as good as the men's enjoyment. We are an entertainment sport, and I think we produce entertaining fights just like the men do. So, people are invested now, and they want to see where you go, and they want to see you do well. They want to see where you move to, and they want to follow your journey, and that's huge for us.
Going back, before we talk about the Taylor fight, going back to the Harper fight, on fight week, a lot of people were sort of writing you off, believing that Terry would, win the fight. She was the champion heading in, and you took her all the way. Some people felt you won, some felt that she'd won. How much confidence did that give you, that performance? I mean, I'm sure it was a bitter pill to swallow for both of you, being a draw. But you know, did that prove a lot to yourself?
I knew I had it in me, and I just got myself into a good place mentally to be able to pull off a performance like that. The same way, like as soon as the fight was finished, I was like, right, I don't want to go back down to fighting whoever. I want to stay at this level. I've proved myself now. I want to be here, stay here, because you can be, you know, full into that lull of going down to people's level. But like, no, I knew what I was capable of, and whether people believe me or not didn't matter to me, because me and Joe were laughing. We're like, look at these odds. I was looking at Joe saying, look at these odds, and like, you know, and I was saying, and in the end, I got so bored of, you know, replying to people and retaliating. I was like, okay, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. And that's, you know, I don't mind being the underdog. If you're the champion, you probably are expected to keep retaining your belt. And I think that I do believe that Matchroom think that the feeding me to the lions, like they thought Terri Harper was the, you know, and I was a good name to have on the record, and she'd just fly by like she did with Volstrom, and, you know, win clearly and comfortably. And that wasn't the case. And I kind of think that they believe that'll happen this time. And I'm kind of saying it won't. It won't be.
I mean, Katie, a lot of people are considering her the pound for pound best between her and Claressa Shields. How, without giving away the game plan, how do you see sort of this fight going? What do you need to do you think, to win this undisputed title?
Win. That's it. Win 6 out of 10, clearly. Stop her, whichever way it comes. You know, I'm not giving away any of the game plan, but what I will say is, like with Terri Harper, whatever version of Katie turns up, we will have an answer for. And I do believe that she is pound for pound the best boxer here, or Claressa arguably, but you know, we'll see. We'll see.
What do you how much of, you know, the fact that the legacy of this fight have you thought about, the fact that if you were to beat her, you go down as, you know, one of the best to ever do it? I mean, the significance of beating Katie Taylor would be huge.
Yeah, I don't think as an athlete competing at the time, you don't appreciate things like that until you look back. Like all the like accolades I got as an amateur, because you know, once you win an ABAs and then you go to England, you want to win for England. Once you win for England, it's like, I want to be on GB. When you get to GB, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. And every time you reach that goal, the goal changes and you move to something else. And it's only when you stop and when I left and look back and I thought, oh my God, I've done all them things, been to all them places, done, and you appreciate it then. So I don't think right now, regardless of what happens, that you'd appreciate the moment. But when you look back, you will.
What's the motivation like for this fight? I'm sure it goes without saying, but to fight for the undisputed title, do you feel extra motivated compared to the last training camp?
Double the motivation. 2 more belts, that's why. But yeah, I think I'm one of them people, the more you say I can't do it, the more I'm going to prove to you I can. And like, I don't need you to see it, I don't need you to believe it, but you will see it. That's what you will see.
Do you relish this underdog tag?
Well, if you're the underdog, there's no pressure on you, because if you get beat, everyone's like, we said that anyway. But when you win, people are like, oh, okay, you have to start taking her serious, because she said that and she did it. So to me, like, it doesn't, whether I'm the favourite, whether I'm the underdog, doesn't really matter. But I get motivated by different things, and one of them motivations is when people say I can't.
Just on the Terri Harper rematch, people thought that fight may have happened. Was that ever close? And is that something, you know, potentially something you'd look at in the future?
Yeah, it's something I've always wanted. Like I said, kicked up a fuss about it, and it was part of a 3-fight deal that Matchroom offered, but then we couldn't agree a fee for that one fight. That meant all the fights are off. And even when it was offered, like, it kind of got, when we were speaking about it at the end of the fight, it was like it was going to happen next. And it quickly became apparent that it was never going to be the next fight or the next fight. It was going to be always 3 fights down the line. So I'm in no worse off position for taking a different route and a different fight, because I probably wouldn't have fought Terry for another year anyway.
It was recently announced, this pledge from Everlast, you know, and you were one of the athletes they selected. I saw you put something out on your Instagram. Just talk us through a bit about that.
Well, you know, I haven't been quiet over the pay scales and you know, the support that women's boxing needs, you know, commercially, financially, and you know, and being visible, whether however that is, through whatever media stream. And you know, Everlast have come on board and have said, you know, we're listening. It's huge for our sport, but it's also huge for boxing. You know, there's going to be a boxer every week that's going to be signed by Everlast into a deal. And you know, as an up and comer, as a boxer, as a female in the sport, you know, financially that's massive. Obviously, then you're going to be visible through the powers of the media that they've got, you know, print, press, whatever, and be part of some big campaigns. And it's you know, hopefully they've set the bar for others to follow.
They've also signed, I think, Chantel Cameron and Sandy Ryan as well. So looks like
Yeah,
things
there's
are
a
going.
lot more boxers to come as well. So,
Yeah.
and there's some big initiatives that they're involved in that, like, I fully support as well. So, like, fingers crossed I'll be a part of some of them, and you know, have the backing of them.
Okay, great. Just a couple more things. I just wanted to get your opinion on. There's a big bantamweight world title fight next week between Ebanie Bridges and Shannon Courtenay. What's your thoughts on the fight, Tasha?
To be honest, I only really know Ebony through social media, and I haven't seen any of her fights, only what she puts up. So I don't know much about her, but she's very, very confident. I will say that. And obviously, Shannon is someone that we have seen a lot more of. She has had that defeat to Rachel Ball, but I think she's on a path where she wants to prove herself and prove that she deserves it. And you know, there's been a little bit of a fuss about how if they got the opportunity, but I just think, you know, they have been given that. It's not their fault that they've got given that opportunity, but both of them will be stepping up to the mark to take it, and both believe they can win. So.
And there's rumours, it's not official yet, but that Terry Harper is going to fight Choi in a unification. What do you think of that? Have you seen much of Choi?
I haven't. I've seen her last fight, but you know, as obviously super featherweight being my division, that she was one that I'd looked at. She's probably, I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone, but she's probably one of the easier champions. You know, Michaela Myers, a tough opponent for anybody, and so's Hamadouche. So, out of the three, she's probably the easier one. And yeah, it should be a good fight. Like, good luck to her.
Well, Tasha, really appreciate you coming on. Best of luck for the last few weeks. Looking forward to this fight May 1st against Katie Taylor on the Zone and Sky Sports box office. Do you want to add anything else? A message to your fans?
No, just tune in. Thanks for, you know, support. Keep being invested, and you're about to see something special. That's it.
Best of luck, Tasha. Appreciate it.